All right, we are back with more Stonewall Jackson's Way 2, Great Campaigns of the American Civil War. And if you've been following along on my blog, you'll know that the Union has not yet won an activation initiative roll. We're still in the first turn, and we're still chugging through the action phase. The initiative segment, the Union has not won a single one yet, but as you can see, all these consistent moves are starting to take the toll on the Confederate side as they're very fatigued. So one of the things about this game is if I was playing another human opponent, and this is why sometimes solitaire, playing war games solitaire kind of doesn't work unless you're playing a solitaire war game. I have to choose whether or not, do I want to keep going this turn? Do I want to save some units to use later on in the turn? There's some special rules where you can't force or extended march in the first turn, so I can't take these guys to fatigue level 3 by marching. So you kind of have to decide when is it time to pass and have the other player move his units. So I've kind of dumbly... I keep moving all the Confederate units, so now all the Union player has to do is sit back and see what I do, and he can easily react to it and block things. So we're ready to go on to the next initiative roll here, and this is pretty much going to be it for the Confederacy. They have one unit really that can still do something, and that's the brigade of Robertson's cavalry over here, strength 3. So we made a push up here toward Rapidan Station, and we were not able to cross the river because we ran out of movement points. And we were not able to get over here because we ran out of movement points. So we're stuck. We have not forded the Rapidan River, right? Here's Robertson's. This Union cavalry performed a cavalry retreat, forcing it to go to disorganized and gain a fatigue. He was down here. He pulled back when he saw this stack coming toward him, which is A.P. Hill and Stonewall Jackson coming up with an 18 strength Union infantry, or Confederate infantry. Alright, so let's do another initiative roll. I just want to do one quick turn here to show you how this works. For the initiative rolls, you basically each roll a die, and if it's a tie in all other games in this series, the Confederate player wins initiative. In Battle Above the Clouds, it depends on a specific number, and insubordination may occur. So each game in the series of Great Campaigns of the American Civil War has different little features that can happen. So here we go. The player with the highest roll wins. Here we go. Blue is Union. Oh boy. So for the first time, we have a Union win during the initiative segment. Okay, so the Union player, very stretched out as you can see here. What would the Union player do here? Well, he's got to get some units moving back down here to block these Confederate forces that are trying to cross this river. The goal is to get up here to Culpeper. That's where your victory points are. So the Union player needs to move, and move now. So he is going to choose, how does he want to do this? How would I do this if I was playing? Probably, oh boy. I would probably do, we could do a leader activation and get these units moving, but I'm afraid that if I don't move someone down now, the Confederacy's going to come up. I got maybe 2 turns at best. So maybe we look at bringing Crawford's brigade down with 1 activation. That's not a lot, though. Now, I could have passed back to the Confederate player. And this is going to be interesting. Things really open up in turn 2. Here's Pope, the Army of Virginia. I think AV. I'm not sure. There's Banks. They're sitting on, there's leaders there, Army leader, Corps leader, I believe. That's what that, yeah, Corps division leader. That's only strength 4. Most of the power is way up here for the Union player, up in this area. Can't see it on the camera right now. So let's piecemeal. Let's activate Crawford. Okay. The thin lines are a road. See if I can get this here. The thin lines are a road. Red is railroad. Thick lines are a pike. They're all 1 movement point costs unless it's raining. I think we just want to bring them straight down in a blocking maneuver or something to that effect. He's really outnumbered, but if you think that the best you can do is roll a 6 for movement, let's see, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a creek, I believe. You can cross a creek anywhere. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. So he can get, Jackson can probably march about up to here, but it'll be a while. And I can still force him to move again. Let's bring Crawford out of Culpeper. Let's see here. All right, so to move in this game, we're going to declare we're going to activate that unit. We're going to declare a march. Only a single unit may be chosen to perform a march. A unit is eligible to march only if it is fatigue level 3 or less. So we're clear there. You select an eligible unit. Union infantry or artillery. The Union player rolls a die, and that's the movement allowance. All right, so let's see what the Union player gets with Crawford. I've been rolling really bad for the Confo. 2. Okay, that's pretty bad. This is what's been happening to me all game. I roll high for initiative, and then when it comes turn to move people, I roll awful. What I want to do is, when I move him out, I think I've got some control markers. Let me find those, and I'll get right back to it. All right, we're back. I want to put a control marker up here in Culpeper just so I remember that he actually left this. All right, the Union has 2 movement points. With this unit. So, 1, 2. It wasn't that exciting. He's going to gain a fatigue point. I do have my fatigue markers ready. The chosen unit's fatigue level is increased by 1. The unit gains a new fatigue marker to reflect the change. And you can make a forced march or extended march, but not during this. Now, the game wants you to use what they call a movement track. But it's kind of tedious, and I don't need it because, well, I only have 2 movement points. So, like, what's the point? I'm not really sure where to put the fatigue markers. Are supposed to go, like, I don't know, I think, like, up there. I like to keep them on top so I know what's going on. I'm going to move the camera. So you're supposed to do this. Active movement allowance would be 2. And then as you move, you're supposed to take this and count it down. It probably helps when you get into combat because you'll forget how many you had left. But here, I mean, he's moving down a road. I mean, not too much is happening, so that's how that works. All right, so, well, he marches down there, and let me just double check the movement rules and make sure I didn't do something stupid. You move from hex to hex. There's no attacks. Roads, pikes, and railroads. If you enter a hex through a hex side crossed by a road pike, it ignores the cost of the major terrain. Instead, it pays a movement point. It was clear anyway. So not much going on there. That was my activation. So the Union finally gets to do something. Crawford's ordered to move out. He probably got like a courier saying, the Confederates, the rebels are approaching the river. Once you do that, you perform a single action. As soon as you complete an action, a new action phase begins, and we roll for initiative. So that was the Union's first go at it there. So I'm going to do one more real quick one here to demonstrate some more stuff. So let's roll, see what happens. All right, we got a 4 and a 4. That's a tie. If both players roll the same number, the Confederate player wins initiative, unless it's battle above the clouds. All right. So guess what? The Confederate player has won initiative again. Well, I don't have much left to do. I can pass here. Do I want to keep this cavalry unit able to react? He's got to cross a creek, the best he can do. I could take on Bayard's cavalry. Oh, that's so tempting. So I would have to roll, if I wanted to do an attack, attacks in this game are during the movement step, a basic attack. You spend movement points to do an attack, and the more you spend, the better. So if a prepared attack is 8 for cavalry, a normal attack is 4 for cavalry. So I would have to roll like awesome. I need, let's see, I need 1, 2, I need 3 just to get there. No, I can't really roll that great then. Cavalry rolls more dice. That's risky. I could try to get, and he's going to get a defensive bonus. I could try to strike across the Robertson's River and launch an attack, the first of the game. It's very tempting. Let's see. Does Robertson want to do this? He has a chance to really try to rake something in, but I'm afraid of that fjord. Let's be conservative here and... That's a tough call. I kind of want to block. I really want to go after him. All right, let's do this. Robertson's going to go after him. All right, let's activate Robertson. All right, he immediately gains a fatigue marker. Like so. And he's cavalry. So we're going to activate him. And Confederate cavalry, I roll 2 dice. The Confederate player rolls 2 dice. The sum of the dice is increased by 1. The modified die roll is the movement allowance. All right, here comes his movement allowance. We need super high to get this attack off. Here we go. Oh, and I've knocked off a fatigue marker. I just plowed into that. That's why I don't like rolling near the units. Okay, we get a total of 8 movement points. All right, let's plan this out. Let's see here. Cavalry. Now I could do a cavalry retreat. Would he want to retreat and give up that position and let him cross that river? Probably not. Looks like we might be heading toward our first battle. We'll rely on the defense. So it's a road. Okay, 1, 2, 3 plus 4 for the attack. 7. We have 8. So we could possibly get that off. That would be a normal attack. All right. Attacks are part of the march procedure. A marching unit may attack any single adjacent hex occupied by enemy units. There are 4 types of attacks. Unit may not attack if it does not possess the requisite movement points. So this is probably where you want to keep track of this so you don't forget. We have 8. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And an attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us 1 left. So we have 1 movement point left should it be needed. And we're going to launch into this attack. I'm just going to set this here so you can see what we're dealing with. And I think they said each strength point was 500 men. So this is what we're looking at. We're going to call this the Battle of Robertson's River Ford. Is that a Ford? Let me see what that's designated. Yep, that's a Ford. No effect, prohibited during rain, allows units to cross major and minor rivers, +2 combat modifier when defending. So that's going to be our first combat. I'm going to read up on the combat rules and upload this video, and I'll post the combat results on my blog, and you can follow along on there. That's hudsonshideout.blogspot.com, and you can see what happens over there. I just wanted to demonstrate how movement and initiative is done in this game, and I'll let everyone know the results offline. Thanks for watching.